All right, welcome back, everybody. We are now going to cast the much in demand patrol games that occurred yesterday. These are the patrol finals of the Calvin Hobbes 2023 World War II tournament. I am joined by the legendary Jahral, the best, perhaps the best Trow player in history, Jon God, map maker extraordinaire, and of course, Kryptos, the man who never sleeps. So watch your back, check under your bed, because he's always lurking. Mr. Kryptos, how are you guys doing?
I'm doing great. How are you, Jon God, Jah?
Well, we played till 5 in the morning, Kryptos, so I'm pretty tired.
I know,
I
I'm with you.
I echo that tired thing. I don't have as fun of a reason. I was doing taxes until late at night, but other than that, I'm doing pretty well. Looking forward to revisiting these games from both perspectives.
For sure.
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, let's take a really short detour a bit and just quickly go over the draft. It was a draft that a process that I thought would be easy. Both Fenster and Kryptos had to choose the top 8 players they would want on their teams in order of preference, and basically, their top 4 players, their top 4 available players would be put on each team. But there was a bit of confusion, perhaps. This is Team Kryptos' selection: Xenophone, Overdose, Guerrilla, Karma, Scratch, Sin, MP, and Father Xmas. Fire Pants, which is Fenster, went with Jon God, Kryptos, which was an illegal pick. Overdose, MP Spy, Father Xmas, Flick, and Scratch. And I'll just note that Guerrilla and Xenophone was sort of an afterthought for Fenster, and he says if I included someone I should have left out, here's 2 more. So these 2 players are really just kind of an afterthought of these other players.
I will
And
stand up for Fenster in that I think he only played with Xenophon in maybe 3 games total or something, so he's not as familiar with Xenophon's skills. So
I mean,
Okay.
I don't really know what kind of skills you're talking about, but I do remember that in the games last year, or maybe it was 2 years ago actually, Fenster and Xenophone played quite a bit with each other, so they should
it
have known
could
each other
be,
by
yeah.
now. But anyway, long story short, this is the team rosters. We have Fenster with Jon God, Overdose, MP, and Spy versus Team Kryptos with Xenophone, Guerrilla, Karma, and Scratch. So,
Honestly, from the top, those are really stacked teams. I'm not going to include myself in that because I feel like that's wrong, but I feel like Overdose, MP, Spy, Xenophon, and Scratch, I would feel are like the top tier. I'm going to say Karma, I haven't played with enough to really have any read on. And
Karma is great.
yeah, that's what I've heard, but I can't personally vouch for it because I just haven't played him enough. And Gorilla is quite good. I think that like watching him like 1v1 MP or Xeno or something, I feel like there's a little bit of a skill gap, but I think that the skill gap between me and Gorilla is larger, so I think that he's probably better than me.
how does it feel to be the first overall draft pick, Jon God?
I would assume that it probably was down to just quickly writing stuff down, and not specifically like, oh, this is the first person I want on my team.
Okay,
It also could be, I think that we have pretty decent teamwork as well, so it may have been in that regard.
okay, yeah. I mean, it could have been strategic. Yeah, absolutely. And we will see what happens in these games. But yeah, it's a good mix of people. Eventually, there were additional players who showed up, and for those players who were not drafted on these teams, they were, I think, just sort of assigned kickball style, and that was that. So anyway, those are the teams. That's the format is. I think we did best of 9, or first to
First
5
of all,
wins, whatever.
yeah.
It's pretty much the same thing, and the loser chooses the next game. So I think that's pretty much the format. the rules, the teams. Yeah, I think we're ready to go. So yeah, here we go. This is the first game. Oh yeah, I'll
Do
also.
you remember who chose the map for the first game? Because obviously, nobody had lost yet.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I thought that I think I said in the rules that the first game should be Recon. Hold
Well,
on.
I didn't think it. I think Fencer, or it might have been even you, Overdose, that made the ultimate decision.
He-
You
uh,
might have mentioned that in the cast last night.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what happened. Yeah, it says the first game must be played on regular Recon.
Oh,
Well,
you broke your own rules, maybe.
Yeah,
yeah, I
so
don't know who chose it. I was just curious because it's an interesting pick to start on combat, but
yeah, so game one should
not a
be
bad pick.
it should be canceled. This game doesn't count right here.
Do we need to do a rematch?
Yeah, we need to do a do over. Okay, but anyway, yeah. So for Team Creeping Death, we have Kryptos, Xenophone, and Scratch, who were drafted, and then and Guerrilla. Jahral was drafted the day of
Day
the
of.
tournament, and then Father Xmas, and yeah, I think it was just Father Xmas who was drafted for Team Fenster the day
Oh, you
of.
should have seen the chat during that. And they're like, "Oh, Fenster gets first pick," and like everybody's just spinning. Grab Xmas, grab Xmas, because he had already chosen Xmas, but it hadn't been one of the polls, and so we're like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah, I mean, I believe it was a choice between Xmas and Jahral, and I don't know. I mean, I guess we really wanted Xmas on our team. Probably, there is.
The humbling of choosing what you think is the best choice at the time.
Well, I mean, there is some historical synergy between Father Xmas and MP, Spy. We played in at least a couple of Myth World Cups together. Not to mention, I pretty much assume that these two guys are going to be involved in pretty much every tournament I host, whether it's Reg, whether it's our stupid little Squid Game tournaments, whether it's World War II. They're always there. We play at least 3 or 4 tournaments together each year, so it could be that synergy factor.
I also think I almost would want to say that I don't see MP or Xmas playing anywhere near as well, except when they're playing against each other. So maybe that was also something thought.
Yeah, maybe. Okay, but let's just jump right into it. Again, this is part of Jon God's Auto Squad modifications, where the ammunition is adjusted based on how many players there are. As you can see, there are 6, even though Team Kryptos only has 5 players. Of course, Auto Squad adjusts for how many the maximum number of players, which is of course 6, and the ammo pile adjusts accordingly. It looks like Creeping Death is in the southwest corner, and Fenster's team is in the southeast corner. So semi-close starts. Obviously, there's one in between, but I think they should find each other pretty quickly. Let's see what happens here. Let me F7, that caps lock. Okay.
I want to see.
Yeah, there was this match. There was a immediate friction on communication. I think at the beginning of this match was that there was like, because planning time wasn't that long, so we're like, okay, what are we doing? And we're like, okay, we're doing this, and then it's like, all right, I'm gonna run over here. So, wait, no, are we doing okay? So like, it was definitely the first game was learning pains.
Interesting. I liked it. That's what I want to hear. I want to hear like what was going on in the mindset of your guys' team, and yeah, that's interesting to hear.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, I think there was just a lot of talking, and there wasn't really an adult in the house. Obviously, Father Xmas doesn't really talk at all. MP's a pushover. Jon God's a pushover. Spy. Like no one really took the reins and just said like everyone needs to shut up and let's do this, which as captain should be Fenster's responsibility, but I think he was being sort of the good cop when we needed the bad cop. You know what I mean? Anyway,
Yeah.
we see Fenster
Somebody's
launching
about
RPG.
to. Oh, that looked like it should have hit.
A couple of RPGs there from Xenophone, who is flanking.
Xenophone was doing really well with the flanks.
Who's
that
this
whole
guy
day.
way in the back? Father Xmas, taking a while to get here. Overdose goes
Overdose
down
was
really
first one
quick.
down.
Yeah, that's no surprise.
That was me and Xmas that were by that tree, I believe. There. I remember fighting Xeno right there, and boom. And then there goes one of Xenophone's units. And then we played Ring Around the Tree.
Nice RPG there from Scratch.
Scratch would be fun to have in here right now.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, someone's gonna get grenaded to death. I think that was Father Xmas.
Yep.
And now
And I started running off because I needed a heal.
5-3. I think.
Yep. This was the point in which I was like, "Oh, I'm completely dead here," because I would see the entire team basically running down. I was like,
Yeah, this is where I was. This is
long
where I
way.
was saying you three needed to go up this way, and keep these guys. You needed to choose one side of the box and just go all three of you guys on that one side.
And then I got healed by somebody, which probably what am I doing at that point? Because
I took advantage of that heal
yep,
a couple of times.
we should have held that heal for way longer than that. There's like no cover there, but
So Father Xmas saying more planning time, was that sarcastic, I thought? But you're saying they wanted more planning time.
yeah, I think having a little bit more time to kind of discuss what you're doing, unless you spawn right next to them, it's nice to have some sort of a plan of what you're aiming at.
You're spawning right next to somebody kind of is a
Throws
drag.
off everything. Yeah. But it also sometimes shows like how good your team is adaptability wise. Like if you can turn that around, that's always pretty impressive, especially if you get jumped.
Yes.
Yeah, we were totally on the defensive here. We're like, because that whole area has like no cover, and you guys were flanking us from the north as well. So it's like keep moving back, but we're also losing the height advantage.
Yeah, that's why I said you three needed to go on one side or the other and just hope for the best. But at the same time,
I think there was
you had this
talk
little hill
about
here, so that was good.
Yeah, I think there was a little bit of worry with the whoever was in the north of us trying to get behind us.
Get an angle. He always.
Yeah, there was a lot of flanking that I'm not used to seeing because it doesn't show up as much in kind of casual games, and so like getting cut off has serious repercussions for the end of the game. Like if you get your group of people split into two, then you're left with the group in the middle that can shoot at both of them. So you could have all 6 or 5 people or whatever shooting at one person versus 3 people at one person. It's very unbalanced.
And that can go both ways though. But I'm just gonna choose spy and say he's the host as well. He can dodge 4 people at a time shooting at him. So he's distracting, say, 4 people out of the other team. That's kind of actually a benefit for all of his other teammates to fire at the enemy. Does that make sense? Am I making sense?
Yeah, I mean, at one point during it, I actually pulled as a decoy for a short thing. I don't remember who I was pulling away, but I like shot a few times and then ran back and just kept him away from the other people. But we'll probably see that if it doesn't get buried and everything that's going on.
Okay, we ready for game
Yeah.
number 2?
Let's roll.
All right, let's see. Yep, so this is Recon. And we have Team Kryptos starting at about 9 o'clock. Team Fenster at 3 o'clock. So this is probably going to take a little longer for the teams to discover.
Are you sure that this wasn't the first game? I feel like this might have been the first game. Maybe I'm completely wrong.
No, actually, I think it was combat for the first.
Okay.
One. Yeah, thinking about
The brain has everything mixed up. I was so focused playing. I'm like, oh my gosh.
the pressure. Oh, so much.
I mean, you don't think about it until it's there, right?
We had a good, intense game on one of the combat. I
Yep.
really enjoyed that. That was fun.
This one we split off a little too much, but the kind of idea was to hold the south hill and then flank in the plains once we pulled people forward to the middle a little bit.
Yeah,
But you guys just did not budge at all, and so we were stuck in this thing of like being too spread out and not being able to flank.
Well, that's what I was telling the team. This is what they're doing. And yeah, the team agreed, so we adapted. But we'll see how this goes.
Flag.
When you're choosing teams, I like when you said, you play well together. You want to play with your friends. I mean, we all like each other a lot, but that being able to dodge bullets, like that host advantage, or where someone's at a disadvantage, like say they're in Europe or something, that can make a big difference.
Oh, somebody's got nailed. Yeah, it's fascinating because you have people like MP and Xmas who are generally looking at three figures for their ping, and yet somehow they can hold their own against people that are getting 60 ping. So I always hand it to them like that's really impressive, and I really dang.
Guess they've learned to live with it.
Yeah, well, power to them. That's not an easy thing. So we have Xmas who's lobbing. Who is in the forest right now?
That's Spy. And we don't even. Father Xmas isn't even lobbing. He's just standing around. You see this idiot? Oh man, Father Xmas, what are you doing, buddy?
I think I was the center of those three in the middle. Near the grenade.
Yeah, but he could have been lagging. So
now it looks like Xenophon's trying to flank in the swamp. Yeah, I remember we noticed that, and I think he does it again, I want to say, and we started to back up so that we wouldn't get flanked.
It doesn't hurt to have giving stuff away or whatever. Some of you already know this, but some people tend to try to get an angle. If just being that one person at an angle while everyone else is on another side can make a big difference, distracting the team or getting some good shots off.
Yeah, and again, it's for me. It was just I'm not used to it, just because it doesn't show up generally in casual matches where you. But
right.
like with especially with a larger size, six unit, like having two people come behind you and pinch off your retreat can be extremely dangerous, and just having them distract you means you can get shot in the back once you've turned around to face them.
Right. At this point, I think Jaw, I think you had said we're seconds away from winning.
Flag capture.
But we weren't going to let that change our gameplay.
Nah, I mean, twist the knife. Yeah, we were trying to push forwards at this point, but it was like at one point we backed up and one person stayed a little bit too center, and if I remember right, we were like, oh gosh, this person's getting completely mauled, so we had to like rush forwards, and it put us at a disadvantaged position.
Yeah, I was mostly a distraction on the flag, just getting time.
Well, I mean, you still would have won even even just being a distraction, it still would have won you the game. So.
I probably died at the end. It tends to happen in the last 30 seconds or something. I don't know why.
50 to 100, yeah. Rough.
I mean,
yeah,
time factor, but besides that, you still want to, you still want that advantage. Yeah.
Who is your guys' designated medics? Looks like you keep healing this game. Somebody's
Oh, yeah.
I did.
Yep.
Yeah. Jaw was our. he was
The unsung hero of this,
The
man.
nurse.
he definitely shined this game. I think he healed probably every single one of us, probably at one point.
Giving you guys a
The,
jab.
the golden god there.
This will do you good. Here you go.
Now, is that who's? Oh yeah, that was me. I just lobbed a random RPG and it landed on. I don't know who it landed on.
1 minute.
I couldn't see anybody at this point. I was just like,
You know what I noticed about films over the last 2 or 3 years, and then ones that are like 6 and 7 years old? There's way much. I mean, there's a lot more talking and texting during the matches. I mean, it's so much more fun to watch the old films, and then the new films, like everybody's on voice, so there's no talking. It's like it's just different.
yeah, it's fair. I wish that there was, and maybe I'm wrong. I never actually looked into it, but is there a way to see both teams chatting without having 2 different copies of the film?
But not. I didn't quite follow that. Do you mean
Like the text chat? Because if I remember right, doesn't it just show the whoever was recording the film's text chat?
no? It shows every. It's
Oh, okay.
Neutral observer. It shows everything.
For sure.
Game.
Hey!
You guys are playing?
Nah, we're casting. and I apologize in advance. I sort of threw you under the bus earlier, Guerrilla.
Oh no. Oh no. That's an OD move.
Well, you're live. You're being recorded right now, Guerrilla. Welcome to the show.
Oh, well then.
Yes.
Shoot.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah.
We're just going over yesterday's games. We just finished the first 2, and we're about to start number 3.
And you can't say hell or damn or anything, or we're going to lose our PG-13 rating.
Yeah, exactly.
You only get to drop 1 F-bomb.
Oh, is that for real?
No.
Because I watch my language. Sometimes things slip out of my mouth.
Watch. I like to watch.
Yeah, man, Guerrilla. Yeah.
Your father smuggled this watch. Yeah, this one, I can't remember how this one went. I know this one was when we were like, we have to pull this together. Like, we need a strategy. Spy spoke up, and we kind of agreed on how we were going to go move things forward. Because the first game was a total mess. The second game, we started to put up sort of a defense, but it still was, you know, towards the second half became a steamroll. So this match, we kind of basically all tried to stay in a kind of smaller area and try and keep, if you're near somebody, to stay near them and to focus on a single person, which sounds obvious, but like when you don't have all the team on the same page, just be like, let's keep it really simple.
Yeah, no, spy was in other words saying, let's get our blank in order.
Yep. And then this was the embarrassing not hill pop by, I don't know who was shooting the RPGs, but like took a lot to pop the hill. I remember on voice chat, everyone's like, it hasn't been popped. How many RPGs have gone on?
So what was your strat like from Overdose on Jon God? What's going on voice chat over there?
There was a lot of talking, that's for sure. A lot of moment-to-moment things, shouting out when people were orange and such, but not enough like, this is what we're doing, I think, was early on. I think this was the first match where we started to kind of like form, like, okay, this is what we're doing, which started really simple and kind of refined it a little bit in the coming games. But yeah, again, this was like we were basically in pairs.
Yeah, I did notice a little bit more, maybe orientation, collaboration. Going to get, be a little more organized this time.
Yep.
I remember this one. Yeah, because I remember being kind of torn between trying to help out one group versus the other on this.
Yeah. Same here with Guerrilla. I think I actually might be next.
Man, the person down by the crates has like had a few RPGs go right by them.
That would be Spy.
Spy. Spy is getting like a whiz RPGs by his head all the time.
Do you mind clicking on different players for us? I'm curious.
There's Kryptos on the hill.
Jon
that's
God
me
versus
rushing.
Kryptos right here.
Flag contested.
Are you gonna get him, Jon God? Oh,
I hope I do something.
I got flanked and I was trying to turn it around.
Contested.
And Kryptos was standing right behind that flag. Gosh darn it.
Captured.
well, he's gonna go down.
And then Zeno was the one that was
Contested.
flanking.
Yep, look at him. But those two soldiers. He definitely, I gave him the 2 soldiers for a reason. He kind of has that karma aspect where he's comfortable with it. So I kept giving him the 2. And he took advantage of it. I think that was a good example.
Oh, that's right. I got that quick stab in right there. I think that was Spy, right?
It looked like it, yeah.
And then MP, I remember him being like, no, no. Messing up this.
So the Spy pretty not happy at this point.
He was actually, for the most of it, was very mellow.
That's not the way I remember it, but
At the
Yeah,
end,
we'll take
like
your
in the
word for
middle,
it.
he's like the beginning of this game. I think everybody kind of spoke up, being like, "We need a strategy." And then after that, I think he mellowed it down. And I don't think anybody was. I think we saw that obviously we're not in a winning position right now, but like we did much better this game, and I think that became very obvious. Okay, let's see if we can turn this around.
Yeah. I mean, never give up, even if it's 3
Nope.
or 1.
oh, that was a bad throw right there.
Yeah, throwing a grenade uphill at somebody that's like right on the other side of the hill.
Oh, that's not a good one.
Ooh.
Eliminated.
I
Yeah,
think
that was the one we're all watching, going, "Oh no!"
that couldn't be only one person. That must have been MP.
That was MP.
Game over.
Yeah, so that's
He laid the
game
grenade
3.
like an egg.
Do over. MP asked for do over. That guy.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's keep moving on. This is game number 4, combat.
Oh boy.
Oh, and this is a very close start.
I think Guerrilla knows what happens.
I forget who
God,
shouted
which
it
one?
out, but immediately we just like everybody's like, "Get off the plane!" It was like everyone.
Yeah,
Man.
I can't tell when you're talking because you're always lit up on the.
Did I get zooked real bad? Oh, no, that's right. That was a really nice nade throw by somebody.
Yeah, I forget who threw that, but everybody was like, "Oh my gosh, that name!" But yeah, that wiped out 3 of you within like the first 40 seconds.
I remember Ja was getting a drink, I think, right at the beginning there.
Yes, I was.
Yeah.
I went over to the pile. I went to get a drink, and I was just getting some ice, and I was dead.
Yeah, that was definitely a rough start for certain. But then again, it's not over till it's over. You just got to do it. You work with what you got.
We had discussed pushing on you guys, but we decided that it was not a safe bet, so we just kind of pushed to getting a better positioning and then waiting for you guys to show up.
Flag.
Interesting. I'm trying to figure out the teams who's who.
Oh, this is you. This is Scratch.
Right.
This is Xenophone.
Yeah, I
Spy,
remember.
Fenster,
Scratch.
MP, Xmas, Jon God.
Yeah, I was staying with Xmas this game, mostly as much as I could. But I was also keeping an eye on Xenophon. Here's where he gets completely cut off, if I remember right.
I got concerned about Scratch. I was looking over at him like, shoot, I really want to go and help him, but I can't leave Zen either.
Yeah, that was the thing. Is I feel like that was an error. Was letting Xenophon run so far out when he only had 1 unit. If he had 2 units, I think he would have totally held his own. But he was up against 2 and so far away from help.
At this point, I'm going to my teammate, and yeah.
Yeah, he ran off to heal, but I just kept on him so that he couldn't heal. And I remember seeing you on my flank and being like, nope, I'm just gonna. Like, I know what I'm doing. I'm just not going to let him heal because that might turn it around. And then I forget who started pulling you off of me. So
Yeah, eventually I think everybody surrounds me in a brutal shoot down.
5 minutes.
Yeah, that seems about right. Well,
yeah, I
this
think
is my
getting
round push for Overdose and Jon God. You guys,
Yep.
must have felt good about this.
it was definitely like, we were a lot of communication in this game, and I let them know, let everybody know what was going on with Xenophon being healed off, and they kind of kept you guys busy while me and Xmas just kept him just completely unable to rejoin you.
Eliminated.
Yeah, smart play.
I mean, that was the thing I said we got to be careful of, and it's why back in the Recon game we ended up when Xenophon flanked, we all backed up so we wouldn't have that happen, because once you get split up into 2 groups, it's much harder to help each other out if you need it.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Well, that was that. The score, I believe, now is 3-1.
Yep.
Okay,
This is
the
game
RPG one next.
This is game number 5.
Oh, I played horribly on this match.
Oh,
No.
Or no, maybe it's not. Is it that one? I think it is.
Oh,
that one.
no, this isn't the one I was thinking of. I actually played okay in this one. This was a really fun match, honestly. Like, I believe well, I'm not going to spoil what happened, but I had fun this game, no matter what happened.
Guerrilla, are you with us? Are you here on the voice?
Like, voice-wise?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here.
More you talking? Share your thoughts. It's good to
I
have
mean,
you.
yeah, I'm happy doing that. I'm also trying to clear out some endings on Chrono Trigger. So
Oh,
Well, you have my respect. I got all 12 on the PS1 release about a lifetime ago. Because I tried on the Super Nintendo one, but it actually kept track on the PS1 version. On the Super Nintendo one, you said to remember which ones you got. So
right. Yeah.
yeah.
No, I only got the normal one ever before, so I figured I'm gonna go try to get all of them for once, and I'm on ending 8 or 9 right now. I just got
Someday
from Masamune again.
there you go.
Yeah.
Here's where things get spicy.
Yeah, Guerrilla, expert at spotting enemy location starts very fast, and we determined you guys where you were, and obviously there's that gap there separating us. So yeah,
That's a fun gap.
Yeah, it was. It was really fun. Spy was, I think, really annoyed in this match because he was I think it was Spy that was hiding behind a tree and bullets kept getting through the tree and he was could not shoot through it. Let's see, where is he right now?
Yes, let's find him.
This is Spy.
There he is.
So you guys want to see why he got mad or how he got mad? So
I don't know. Remember if it was him or if it was somebody else, but there's definitely somebody that was really annoyed at a tree in this match.
I mean, Spy was pretty angry today, so.
I was concerned about my teammate over mid, whoever that is.
That was Scratch.
Scratch, yeah. I was a little worried because he got two players next to him, but
Nobody pushed, so it didn't really matter.
yeah.
I think we also had, worry of overextending past the middle line through the map, because
Right.
It would leave us kind of. At one point, somebody goes to rush across the canyon, and we kind of backed off. and then just waited
I
for
remember, yeah, I remember seeing
was-
that. I'm like, don't get greedy there, dude.
Yeah, we were like, all right, somebody's coming across, and we all just were like ready for it. But it was like, okay, we don't want to get too spread out. So we like, okay, we're just gonna hold this bank essentially.
Yeah, it was a good call.
This is where things started to go wrong. Somebody just got blown up. Overdose got blown up, and then somebody else got really hurt, and then we really desperately needed a heal up north as well because we were just slowly getting worn down by. I think that's just Xenophon, or is it Xenophon and somebody else?
I thought it was me and him. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Xenophon. Yep. You guys were just landing the hits while I just could not land a single bullet on you guys. It was so frustrating. I'm like,
I actually was shooting. I think I shot at every enemy in this, like switching it up. You know, people that were not expecting to be shot from, you know, one side.
who are the two people south right now we're looking at?
MP and Spy.
Well,
That might be one of the shots that got through the tree.
Look at his text. Yeah. Look at Scratch though.
Yeah, Scratch delivered very well this game. That he survived all of this and continued to just dish out damage. People having to go back and heal and stuff.
And preoccupying both.
Yeah, that's actually. I didn't realize he was doing that solo there. Dang.
Yeah, that's why I said like he I feel like delivered so much on this game. Like even if he ultimately didn't survive, he kept you for 5 minutes or something, kept two people busy. Some insane amount like that is crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And at this point, it's those are the two people left on the team, right?
Yeah. And he was distracting them actually so I could get some shots off towards Spy. So
I remember Happy being like, "Oh no."
I like it in Myth when you played with somebody so long. I mean, it's like beyond camaraderie. You're almost like reading each other's minds. Like, you know, okay, we're gonna get him now, or we're, you know what you're gonna do sometimes when you're playing with people. I really like that feeling.
Yup.
Game over.
yes, indeed.
It's a good map choice. I don't remember who chose it, but
I think we might have. Team Kryptos lost the last one, so I went to. I tried to stick with the classics because I felt like that was more of our strengths to stay with
Yep.
soldiers. But,
so this one was a choice on our side of being like, okay, we just totally got smashed on this last game. Like, let's play something just so off the wall that it might change our luck, basically. Like, we need a refresh, and that was the idea for this. And there was also a lot of talk about how close together we should stay. Like, stay close, but not too close.
So I'm trying to. I was really confused about something with this one, Kryptos. Like I didn't realize. I thought Xeno was captain for some reason, and I was like, "Oh crap, he's got 2 units and he's not doing anything with them."
you know, I had no idea because I hadn't. Why would I expect for him to go AFK all of a sudden?
Right? No, I get that. But like when we realized it, I didn't know if you were still there or if you took off already too.
No, I just expected him to be somewhere doing something, not sitting there. It was pretty. Yeah. This game. This was. Yeah.
Not our best.
I was not content with it. I wish I recognized that Zen was AFK. Not sure if that really would have made much of a difference.
Yeah, like none of us did. That's the weird thing. Like I think we all just assumed he was with us the whole time.
I think partially some of us, and I think this plays to Fencer's team switching it up with different unit types. kind of, that kind of switched. Yeah, it changed things. I tried to keep things classic with the soldiers for a reason.
Well, I mean, yes, and this is also not too far fetched. Like, we're all used to using RPGs. I wasn't going to be like, let's play Giant Fighting Grounds or something. That would have been like, that would have been a rude way to turn it. I wanted to keep it like when we were talking about, like, yeah, let's do something that's relatively normal.
After this one, I was tempted to do 20 choppers. For real,
That would have been an insane game to have in the
exactly. But then I thought about it, and I realized who would that benefit? Probably the team with more players. So
yeah. At this point, we're all freaking out because we haven't seen Xenophon, and based on his gameplay so far, like, he goes way out of the way and flanks, and we're like, what's going on? Where is he? We haven't seen him yet. We're all just like, okay, just shoot randomly. Like, I don't know where he is.
What was Team Fenster proud of this win?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we were robbed a little bit of it because at the end we realized that, like, when we found him, we're like, oh, he's AFK? Okay. Yeah. But, like, before that, we're like, man, like, we were landing shots really well. Like, I think I got 1 or 2 Zooks, something like that. Like, maybe not direct hits, but close enough that it was, like, a serious problem.
Now, somebody hit me on the head, so...
Yeah, like, we were doing pretty well, so... But then it feels like, oh, one of them was AFK. Okay, well...
Yeah. I would feel conflicted, because...
Yeah, that's the best way to put it. We all felt a little conflicted about it.
Yeah. F2.
Team eliminated.
Gunned him down like a Thanksgiving Day turkey.
I don't hunt Thanksgiving turkeys with RPGs, but that would be a sport, I suppose.
You wouldn't have to chew them; they'd be happily obliterated.
Game over.
Pre-cooked.
There goes Lavos down for the 8th time. I just did like 7 endings today. Chrono Trigger's so easy once you go into a new game plus cycle.
If I remember right, that was the game that invented that concept.
This is like, it's fun. I'm like 2 hours in, where I before was probably like 20 hours in. It's just blazing through everything.
Oh, this is the body count one, if I remember right. We were the ones that spawned in the
That's
swamp.
right. Yeah.
This one was another one where we had really strong communication and we were really responsive to each other. There was some like on our side, we were like very curious because you guys did some very interesting plays, and we're like, all right, they're doing this, okay, all right, move to block, etc.
Yeah, same thing was going on over our side. We knew where you started, and then you had the RPG pile and whatnot. So
yeah. We go ahead.
Yeah, I think I wanted to take your guys' RPG pile out pretty quickly once I realized you were there.
That was the start of things, and we're like, oh, this is rough. Like, forget who it was. Somebody shot off an RPG. But we were like, for one thing, we were keeping a really close eye on the damage, so that, because we knew that you guys would likely try and, after damaging us a little bit, try and pull us in. And so we're like, no, we're not going to let that happen. And so we're really careful on that. And we also expected you guys to rush planes. Oh yeah, there's our hill popped of RPGs. Nobody was near it, but it wrecked our ability to just rain RPG hell down.
Yeah, it was a nice shot. I believe that was Guerrilla that took care of that for us.
Yeah, I wanted to get rid of that pretty much for that exact reason. I didn't want you guys just getting a bunch of free damage with getting those RPGs off.
Yeah, then you guys backed off for a hot moment here. We're like, what's going on? Like, where are they? We're like, just staying there. We're okay. We had somebody checking planes. We had somebody checking swamp. We're like, what's going on? Don't go too far away though. Like, stay within the ability to retreat. I think it was the spy that was running forwards. Yeah.
Well, it's interesting because we had somewhat similar tactic. We were expecting to meet you planes, and that's I think me there with somebody meeting planes, um, and kind of expected to meet up with y'all there, but we didn't want to be in range of any more RPGs. So
Yeah,
and
we
we
were
did
kind of
one.
using the tree line as a natural barrier for you guys, because the tree line on the end of the plains forces you guys into only a few different ways through. So it's when we were holding behind that, we had basically the line of people on the hill keeping an eye on that line.
I see. I honestly don't remember how this ends. Uh,
I'm kind of drawing a blank here too.
yeah.
Well, another thing we were fascinated by, we're a few minutes in the game and 0 damage at this point. We're like, how has nobody gotten hurt? And then suddenly there's the first damage, and then somebody got hit. So something it took up to 6.
Well, I remember saying they're going to want to utilize they're going to be oriented around that heel pack plane, and sure enough, there you are.
We were sort of using it as a decoy. I don't think it was a spoken thing, but we were constantly like, back up, stay together, you know, force them to come to us, because like at this point we were in the lead just by a small bit, but it still would have forced you guys. You would have had to come towards us, so we just kind of kept you guys coming towards us while backing up.
Now I remember how this goes because I was sticking with Scratch on a flank to the north, but now I recall. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's me mid.
Good call.
Yeah.
I think
that was that Overdose you're fighting in mid?
I
feel like I remember.
Oh, excellent. Okay.
Yeah, I forget who was in the back. I remember I was covering the back flank with somebody, but I don't remember who I was. Somebody pointed out the Scratch was back there. Yeah, it was MP, and then I came to assist.
Yeah, I saw that you were going to assist, so I was like, oh crap, alright, Scratch. I told Scratch I'm coming towards you, because he's going to use me.
You guys had a rough offensive there.
I think it was a good call on you guys to fall back to the North Hill, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, that fighting up that hill from that angle is so bad. And so like when we had you this far in the lead, we're like, don't take any chances. Force them to be in the worst scenario. There's Xmas out there.
This out of the games I recall so far, I think this was probably just the way it looks so far. The best coordination on Fenster's team.
Yep.
Out of the game so far.
There was, like I said, there was a lot of communication. We were checking who we were fighting. We were letting know where people were. We were constantly like, back up, keep an eye on this person. Don't rush ahead, etc. We're all talking to each other, making sure we know what's going on.
I'm good. Does Spy still not have a mic?
I mean, he was on yesterday, but he was very quiet.
I see him.
Up there, who just
bunch,
Scratch
but-
went down there.
Yeah, it was. I was desperate to help him. Not
Yep.
really overall the best strategy, but
Yeah. Me and MP were keeping the pressure on you, so you couldn't rejoin.
yeah, I know.
Yeah, I saw. I wanted to come over to help you out too.
We were all in. They had good positioning.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah, we also knew that you had some sort of a pickup there, so we were playing it real safe. And after you used your pickup, we're like, all right, time to move in for the tail. Like,
Exactly. Yeah. Once I blew that, that was that.
yep. Like I said, we were very much in communication at every given moment.
It's good. That's good. Like, it would have been, I think, pretty bad if you guys lost this one. I think morale
Yeah.
probably dropped, I would imagine.
Yeah, I think I made the joke that like we could win if we just had 4 perfect games in a row. But yeah, that was that. I think we all had good feelings about that game because not only did we win, but all of us survived.
Yeah, well played.
I don't think we used any heals either.
No.
Oh, this one's so rough.
Oh God.
Oh,
Flashbacks.
this one blew my mind that you guys got tile popped and somehow not much changed.
Well, I do remember making a comment after. Well, I'm getting ahead of myself.
Yeah, I was like, oh crap, not this again.
Pretty.
Oh, tit for tat. We traded Jaw for Overdose. RPGs went both ways.
Oh, that might have been me too.
Oh,
and then
there
that
goes
one,
down. That's
one of Xeno's.
yep.
I remember saying, "Yeah, I'll back up."
Yeah. I didn't feel too bad because I'm like 17-12. That's not a terrible gap right now.
No, I said something to the effect of, we're still in this, like, yeah, don't lose morale here.
Yeah,
Rough
we were
start.
also trying to be, don't give them a space to have an advantage. So we were being really careful about pushing or spreading out. You can see Spy talking right
Yeah.
before he blows up. Yep,
Boom.
That was a
I remember that happening.
I don't know who made that
Yeah,
shot.
that might have been, maybe that one was me. I know I got one really good RPG in this one.
I think that might have been you again. Yeah. I remember you being good at RPGs, even like 1999 or so, Guerrilla.
I don't know why. I just always remember the 40%. Was it 40% distance? 60%?
I could give you the actual numbers if you want, but it's,
Oh, man.
I mean,
His muscle memory is kind of just.
I mean, there's a lot of factors that factor in. Like, I think that wind affects it slightly. I think that I think that how much vetting your unit has, I want to say affects it extremely slightly. So there's like, even if you have muscle memory, there's also a little bit of things you have to be aware of.
I had no idea.
I'm gonna ignore everything you just said because it's gonna mess with my head. Okay. I have to stick with what my brain tells me to do. If I think too much,
Yeah, don't ever ask me to explain how the heck Santa had made this in the first place. When I looked at the tags originally to make World War II Heroes, I was like, what in the ever loving?
Yeah, so here we collectively decided to take this hill and a more defensive position, assuming you guys might want to shoot one RPG to get 1-2 damage, So we were hanging back.
I don't remember where we were positioning. Oh yeah, that's what it was. We were trying to figure out where you guys had gone because like we had spread out and kind of were sweeping, and we expected you guys to go northeast to the really tall hill, and so we're like, nope, don't see them. Where are they? And somebody pointed out, circled on the map, being like, they're here. I think that's where I last saw them, and so you can see us making the very late decision of being like, yeah, let's go to this hill. When I can see in the background, you guys are running off to the northeast hill now.
Yeah, there was one point I was kind of ahead towards the middle and noticed that you guys had spotted us, and at that point, I think I said, "Take cover," because here comes the RPGs.
I don't think that we had noticed you. I think we were still looking for you at that point.
Oh, somebody did because they immediately turned back when they saw me. Yeah.
Oh well, then they didn't let us know.
Father Xmas, maybe he didn't talk much.
Could be.
But this was a good, this was a fun game actually.
Yeah. This one's tense.
Ooh, who split off way over the northwest there at the spawn? I was MP. What are you doing, MP?
Of course, it's empty.
Yeah, that was the RPG that screwed me there. Yeah, fighting up that hill was just awful. Oh yeah, that was the RPG that screwed me.
I remember now. Yeah, 'cause I think we were going up the hill thinking like, oh, they must already be there.
Yeah, right there when I RPG'd the tree, I T, and then I'm like, no, I gotta dodge. So I hit space, and then I told it to move, and then he started to move, and then stopped and RPG'd the tree, and I'm like, that lag just ruined me. Lost my RPG and took a hit.
Spy.
Yeah, there was an attempt there to rush Guerrilla. 2 people were certainly
And I somehow survived all of those grenades and bullet fire. Just like I was like, I don't know how I'm alive, but
I tried to back you up.
Yeah, no, I appreciated that.
and I was also very hesitant on the heals. But I was like, okay, well, if somebody's a step from death and we're down on players, like not down on players, because it felt like it because MP was all the way over there. But I was worried that we were, if you lose one and it turns into a 3 versus 2, and then 3 versus 1, it's like
Is that MP up there at like the top?
Yep.
Oh my
He was
god.
he was kind of just doing his own thing this game.
Well,
He took a wide angle for that. Jeez.
Yeah, it was like, uh-oh.
Well, I mean, you should have seen that it was 3 versus 2, and you guys should have shot these guys. Instead, you guys are backing up and playing on your heels.
Spy was yelling at us to go support MP, so I was like, all right. I'm like almost dead, so I'll see what I can do.
I'll try to give MP credit, which is rare, but he was trying to get an angle, trying to be a good distraction to give you guys an opportunity to push, but it just didn't work because I think we were pretty adaptable and helping each other where it was needed. Plus, those 2 trees really helped.
Yeah. That is an extremely hard hill to fight up.
Heck yeah.
Because there's not much cover on the way up if you need to get close, and if you're on top, then you can just kind of duck behind a little bit.
What was it? That clan called we used to make fun of like 20 years ago? Oh, crows. Notorious like crow dodging. Because basically you just like walk and
the cadre.
Do you remember the Crow clan?
I don't.
All right. Guerrilla might remember this.
That name sounds familiar.
Yeah, their tag was just crows in like alternate script.
No, that does. My brain is like having that little fuzzy thing, being like, that sounds vaguely familiar.
The reason I bring it up is because
Game
there was
over.
what we would call crow dodging, which basically these guys like they they didn't taunt or spacebar; they would just walk. And
Yeah, I like doing that.
Yeah,
I remember seeing those guys. And I'm like, oh, you guys do it like I do.
sometimes it works. Like going way back, if you remember, just continually going in a circle dodging, like 3K.
Yeah, that was how I originally learned, was a mixture of circle dodging and stop dodging, and I was not great at either of them, so I sort of like went more to circle dodging for a while, and then sort of learned the magic of stop dodging. It was interesting explaining it to Meerkat the other day, who is still kind of learning the ins and outs of World War II, and he was trying to figure out how do you dodge, because like I'm shooting it at these people and like I can sometimes dodge, but so it's fun, like just actually thinking and like trying to put it into words because it's so much of it is just my brain knows what to do at that moment.
Yeah, there's a lot of calculations happening at once. You know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, those were the patrol games. Team
All right.
Kryptos emerging victorious 5-3. So congratulations to the team leader Kryptos, Guerrilla, Jahral. Good games and all of that. Congratulations specifically to Kryptos because now you're going to have a future match with Spy 1-on-1 for the WWII championship at some date in the future. But
Hopefully, when I'm not on hotspot from my phone, that'd be preferred anyway. But
yeah, well, but I mean, if we're all here, I mean, does someone have a host? That's all I'm asking. I mean, I need to get some anger out, some issues out,
oh,
particularly against a certain person who is in this voice chat who did ruin my free for all tournament yesterday.
Guerrilla, did you happen to catch any of that?
All right,
Any of the chat?
I'm stopping the recording right now. So.